Few Figs from a Thistle by Edna St. Vincent Millay. And I kind of showed it to you during my living room tour. I had it on the mantle. And I was just looking at it and I thought, well, I may as well look at it while talking to you guys. It's called A Few Figs from a Thistle by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Poems and Sonnets by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Publisher Harper & Brothers, New York and London. Copyright 1922 by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Good for her, she had her own copyright. Thanks are due to the editors. This one called First Fig, you might find it familiar when I read it. First fig, my candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night. But ah, my foes and oh, my friends, it gives a lovely light. So you may have heard the saying, burning your candle at both ends. She wrote that. And it was really about you're doing so much that your candle's being burned at both ends, and pretty soon you'll just be burnt out. But you're having so much fun doing it that maybe it's worth it. Second fig. Safe upon the solid rock, the ugly houses stand. Come and see my shining palace built upon the sand. So the ones that are safe on the rock is where all the ugly ones are, but she has this beautiful palace, but it could collapse at any moment. I just love her. I think her poetry is so short, sweet, meaningful. It went out of style for a long time, but I think it's pretty awesome. This is a long one, I'll just read it. Recuerdo. I think that's how you say it. We were very tired. We were very merry. We had gone back and forth all night on the ferry. It was bare and bright and smelled like a stable. But we looked into the fire. We leaned across the table. We lay on the hilltop underneath the moon, and the whistles kept blowing, and the dawn came soon. We were very tired. We were very merry. We had gone back and forth all night on a ferry. And you ate an apple, and I ate a pear. From a dozen of each we had bought somewhere. And the sky went wan, and the wind came cold, and the sun rose dripping, a bucket full of gold. We were very tired, we were very merry. We had gone back and forth all night on the ferry. We hailed good morrow, mother, to her shawl-covered head, and bought a morning paper which neither of us read. And she wept, God bless you, for the apples and the pears, and we gave her all our money but our subway fares. Thursday. And if I loved you Wednesday, well, what is that to you? I do not love you Thursday, so much is true. And why you come complaining is more than I can see. I loved you Wednesday, yes, but what is that to me? To the not impossible him. How shall I know unless I go to Cairo and Cathay? Whether or not this blessed spot is blessed in every way. Now it may be the flower for me is this beneath my nose. How shall I tell unless I smell the Carthaginian rose? The fabric of my faithful love no power shall dim or ravel, whilst I stay here, but oh my dear, if I should ever travel. McDougal Street. As I went walking up and down to take the evening air, sweet to meet upon the street, why must I be so shy? I saw him lay his hand upon her torn black hair. Little Latin child, let the lady by. The women squatting on the stoops were slovenly and fat. Lay me out in Oregandi, lay me out in lawn. And everywhere I stepped there was a baby or a cat. Lord God in heaven, will it never be dawn? The fruit carts and calm carts were ribald as a fair. Pink nets and wet shells trodden under heel. She had haggled from the fruit man of his rotting ware. I shall never get to sleep the way I feel. He walked like a king through the filth and the clutter. Sweet to meet upon the street, why did you glance me by? But he caught the quaint Italian quip she flung him from the gutter. Why can there be to cry about when I should lie and cry? I feel like I'm reading this one wrong because I don't understand it at all. He laid his darling hand upon her little black head. I wish I were a ragged child with earrings in my ears. And he said she was a baggage to have said what she had said. Truly I shall be ill unless I stop these tears. I don't know what that line meant. See how it's like every other line, it's like her thoughts. And that's what she says, and then these are kind of her thoughts about it. So I probably didn't read it correctly, but I'm not sure. The singing woman from the wood's edge. What should I be but a prophet and a liar, whose mother was a leprechaun, whose father was a friar? Teethed on a crucifix and cradled under water, what should I be but the fiend's goddaughter? And who should be my playmates but the adder and the frog, that was got beneath a furze bush and born in a bog? And what should be my singing, that was christened at an altar, but aves and credos and psalms out of the psalter? You will see such webs on wet grass, maybe, as a pixie mother weaves for her baby. You will find such flame at the wave's weedy ebb as flashes in the meshes of a mer mother's web. But there comes to birth no common spawn from the love of a priest for a leprechaun, and you never have seen and you never will see such things as the things that swaddled me. After all's said and after all's done, what should I be but a harlot and a nun? In through the bushes on any foggy day, my dad would come a swishing of the drops away, with a prayer for my death and a groan for my birth, a mumbling of his beads for all that he was worth. And there sit my ma, her knees beneath her chin, a looking in his face and a drinking of it in, and a marking in the moss some funny little saying that would mean just the opposite of all that he was praying. He taught me the holy talk of vesper and of matin. He heard me my Greek and he heard me my Latin. He blessed me and he crossed me to keep my soul from evil. And we watched him out of sight and we conjured up the devil. Oh, the things, this is figs from a thistle. Oh, the things I haven't seen and the things I haven't known, what with hedges and ditches till after I was grown, and yanked both ways by my mother and my father, with a which would you better and a which would you rather. With him for a sire and her for a dam, what should I be but just what I am? She is overheard singing. Oh, Prue, she has a patient man, and Joan a gentle lover, and Agatha Arse is a hug the hearth, but my true love's a rover. Mig, her man as good as cheese, and honest as a briar. Sue tells her love what he's thinking of, but my dear lad's a liar. Oh, Sue and Prue and Agatha are thick with Meg and Joan. They bite their threads and shake their heads and gnaw my name like a bone. And Prue says, mine's a patient man, as never snaps me up. And Agatha Arth is a hug the hearth, could live content in a cup. Sue's man's mind is like good gel, all one color and clear. And Meg's no call to think at all, what's to come next year. While Joan makes boast of a gentle lad, that's troubled with that and this, but they all would give the life they live for a look from the man I kiss. Cold he slants his eyes about, and few enough's his choice, though he'd slit me clean for a nun or a queen or a beggar with knots in her voice. And Agatha will turn away when her good man sleeps sound, and Meg and Sue and Joan and Prue will hear the clock strike round. For Prue she has a patient man, as asks not when or why, and Meg and Sue have naught to do but peep who's passing by. Joan is paired with a putterer that bastes and tastes and salts, and Agatha's Arth is a hug the hearth, but my true love is false. But my true love is false. The prisoner. All right, go ahead. What's in a name? I guess I'll be locked into as much as I'm locked out of. All right, go ahead. What's in a name? I guess I'll be locked into as much as I'm locked out of. I think that has to do with having a woman's name, especially in the 1920s. You get locked out of things and locked into things. The Unexplorer. There was a road ran past our house, too lovely to explore. I asked my mother once. She said that if you followed where it led, it brought you to the milkman's door. That's why I have not traveled more. Grown up. Was it for this I uttered prayers and sobbed and cursed and kicked the stairs, that now, domestic as a plate, I should retire at 8:30? Let's read that again. Grown up. Was it for this I uttered prayers and sobbed and cursed and kicked the stairs, that now, domestic as a plate, I should retire at 8:30? The Penitent. I had a little sorrow, born of a little sin. I found a room all damp with gloom, and shut us all within. And little sorrow weep, said I, and little sin pray God to die, and I upon the floor will lie, and think how bad I've been. Alas for pious planning, it mattered not a whit. As far as gloom went in that room, the lamp might have been lit. My little sorrow would not weep, my little sin would not go to sleep. To save my soul I could not keep my graceless mind on it. So I got up in anger and took a book I had and put a ribbon on my hair to please a passing lad. And one thing there's no getting by, I've been a wicked girl, said I. But if I can be sorry why, I may as well. But if I can't be sorry why, I may as well be glad. So she's supposed to feel bad about saying she did, guilty for flirting or something. She went ahead and put a ribbon on and said, Daphne, why do you follow me? Any moment I can be nothing but a laurel tree. Any moment of the chase I can leave you in my place, a pink bough for your embrace. Yet if over the hill and hollow, still it is your will to follow, I am off to heal Apollo. Portrait of a neighbor. Oh, I could tell you some neighbor stories. Before she has her floor swept or her dishes done, any day you'll find her a-sunning in the sun. It's long after midnight, her keys in the lock, and you never see her chimney smoke till past 10 o'clock. She digs in her garden with a shovel and a spoon. She weeds her lazy lettuce by the light of the moon. She walks up the walk like a woman in a dream. She forgets she borrowed butter and pays you back cream. Her lawn looks like a meadow, and if she mows the place, she leaves the clover standing and the Queen Anne's lace. Sounds like me. I think I'm her neighbor. I love Queen Anne's lace. Midnight oil. Cut if you will with sleep's dull knife, each day to half its length, my friend. The year that time takes off my life, he'll take from the other end. Midnight oil. I gotta read that one. Cut if you will, with sleep's dull knife, each day to half its length, my friend. The year that time takes off my life, he'll take from the other end. The Merry Maid. Oh, I am grown so free from care since my heart broke. I set my throat against the air. I laugh at simple folk. There's little kind and little fair. It's worth its weight in smoke. To me that's grown so free from care since my heart broke. Lass, if to sleep you would repair, as peaceful as you woke, best not besiege your lover there for just the words he spoke. To me that's grown so free from care since my heart broke. To Kathleen. Still was the poet as of old, in barren attic, bleak and cold. Starve, freeze, and fashion verses to such things as flowers and songs and you. Still as of old is being give, in beauty's name while she may live. Beauty that may not die as long as there are flowers and you and song. To S.M. if he should lie a-dying. I am not willing you should go into the earth where Helen went. She is awake by now, I know, where Cleopatra's anklets rust. You will not lie with my consent. And Sappho is roving dust. Cressid could love again. Dido, rotted in state, is restless still. You leave me much against my will. The philosopher. And what are you that, missing you, I should be kept awake, as many nights as there are days with weeping for your sake? And what are you that, missing you, as many days as crawl, I should be listening to the wind and looking at the wall? I know a man that's a braver man, and 20 men as kind. And what are you that you should be the one man in my mind? Yet women's ways are witless ways, as any sage will tell. And what am I that I should love so wisely and so well? 4 sonnets. Well, I guess we'll read these, guys? 4 sonnet. Figs from thistles, number 1. Love, though for this you riddle me with darts, and drag me at your chariot till I die. Oh, heavy prince, oh, panderer of hearts, yet hear me tell how in their throats they lie, who shout you mighty, thick about my hair, day in, day out, your ominous arrows purr, who still am free unto no querulous care, a fool and in no temple worshipper. I that have barred me to your quiver's fire, lifted my face into punny rain, do wreathe you impotent to evoke desire, as you are powerless to elicit pain. Now will the god for blasphemies so brave punish me surely with the shaft I crave. Sonnet number 2. I think I should have loved you presently, and given an earnest word I flung in jest, and lifted honest eyes for you to see, and caught your hand against my cheek and breast, and all my pretty follies flung aside, that won you to me, and beneath your gaze, naked of reticence and shorn of pride, spread like a chart my little wicked ways. I that had been to you, had you remained, but one more waking from a recurrent dream, cherish no less the certain stakes I gained, and walk your memory's halls, austere, supreme, a ghost and marble of a girl you knew, who would have loved you in a day or two. Number 3. Oh, think not I am faithful to vow. Faithless am I, save to love's self alone. Were you not lovely, I would leave you now. After the feet of beauty fly my own. Were you not still my hunger's rarest food, and water ever to my wildest thirst, I would desert you, think not but I would, and seek another as I sought you first. But you are mobile as the veering air, with all your charms more changeful than the tide. Wherefore to be inconstant is no care. I have but to continue at your side. So wanton, light, and false, my love, are you. I am most faithless when I am most true. Number 4. I shall forget you presently, my dear, so make the most of this, your little day, your little month, your little half a year, ere I forget or die or move away, and we are done forever. By and by I shall forget you, as I said. But now, if you entreat me with your loveliest lie, I will protest you with my favorite vow. I would indeed that love were longer lived, and vows were not so brittle as they are. But so it is, and nature has contrived to struggle on without a break thus far. Whether or not we find what we are seeking is idle, biologically speaking. And that is the end. What do you guys think? Too heady?